that the password that you use here at work and maybe the website that you go to in order to do your online banking, there's a method to your madness. And if you and I can even talk about our method, if we can laugh about our method, the hacker for sure knows every method in the book to try and track what you do, where you go, who you normally talk to, what banks you normally visit, what sites you normally visit, where you shop online, and how to get that content. And for heaven's sakes, we just don't need another identity theft. We just don't need our corporate data to be pilfered by some hack, somebody trying to abscond with corporate information to do damage to this business, to do damage to you. So by all means, what we're going to discuss is establishing a method to your madness, misspelling your password and having a method to your spelling, and introducing some what they call special characters, using, for example, 1, 2, using numbers, using a numbering sequence, interspersing that into your word. So example, let's talk about leek speak. If I'm trying to tell you how to misspell things, we all misspell things, but it's not just taking it that way. Again, we don't want to use properly spelled words. We don't want to use properly spelled words that are really easy. Like even your favorite music group, or using like lyrics to your favorite country music, or what have you. I mean, anybody who knows you, anybody who's ever read your email, anybody who's ever been able to abscond with your information knows what kind of music you like. I mean, a lot of people essentially wear what they like. So you have to think just off the beaten path just a wee bit. There's a concept called leek speak. You can look it up, you can Google it, for heaven's sakes. But leek speak is a way to intersperse characters to essentially look like, for example, the letter E. Doesn't the number 3 kind of look like an E but backwards? We all embrace your dyslexic, okay? So think of symbols that will substitute for a letter. And if you have an obscure method of thinking, just, for example, what I said before, embrace your geek. Okay, so 4, what does that look like? I don't know. You only know. Use that to substitute for a letter. Use that to substitute, for example, 9. Doesn't that kind of look like a G? Okay, if you do a Google on leek speak, you'll be able, it'll just blow your head back. But it's what the kids are using on their phones. It's what people use. It's actually what hackers were using originally to try and look like cipher code. So it was originally people were trying to be totally cool and really cryptic with what they're typing. But again, introducing different characters instead of letters, and don't use properly spelled words. And you got to make your passwords longer than 4 characters. You have to make them longer than 5. Again, if you go to any website when it talks about password theory, don't use QWERTY, don't use ABC, don't use 1, 2, 3, don't use anything on the keyboard that's a no-brainer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Totally against password theory. Totally against security. And again, you not only want to secure your corporate information, but you want to secure your own information, because if you use that same kind of a password here, you use that same kind of a password with your bank, and a hacker's got to pick up on that like nobody's business. And again, we don't want to have another instance of identity theft. I cannot tell you how many people I know that have suffered from identity theft. It's not only online stuff, but it's just like the quick no-brainers. Again, please, we know that people write stuff down. People write stuff down on sticky notes. Moving forward in IT, what we're going to be doing is enforcing a security policy that's going to require that your password be complex, that it's going to force that the password be longer than 4 characters. It's going to force that the password be longer. It's going to force that the password have complex characters in it. For example, an exclamation point. How many times have people thought expletives, okay? So, that being said, do not use a properly spelled expletive. If you're going to use an expletive, use the pound symbol, use the question mark, use the exclamation point, use 1, 2, 9. Use an open parenthesis and a closed parenthesis. You can use slashes. Use your special characters just as you think about but again, don't use expletives that are commonly used for frustration, if you know what I mean, okay? They are as common as the day is long, and they're the #1 hack words, so don't use those. Again, if you want to make sure that you don't succumb to identity theft for you or for the corporation, you want to make sure that you understand the importance of security and just picking up on how to create a good password. Again, because moving forward for SD Myers, we're going to be enforcing a strong password, and the strong password is going to need to be changed within a time interval. So establishing a method to your madness that is different from what you've done in the past, and knowing that you can just change it up just a little bit. Change up the numbering sequence, and maybe staying consistent with the same theme of shoes you hate, where you got sick, if you ever got stung by a stingray. Things crazy and obscure like that, again, that you never filled out on a form. Do I make myself clear? Again, moving forward, we want to make sure that our data is secure. All data, your banking information, your children's information. If you want to protect your family, if you want to protect the network, make sure that you have strong passwords. You can Google it, you can ask me, I'll post this information. But moving forward, we need to think about and enforce strong passwords. Thank you.